Hey guys, Jordan here. Today we're checking out one of MSI's new motherboards that they announced at CES last week. We've got the B850 Gaming Plus Max Wi-Fi. Now this is going to be a nice white motherboard. We haven't checked out too many white ones, so I'm keen to look at this one. In terms of pricing, nothing really there at the moment because obviously this has just been announced, but as soon as I know, I'll update the links down below and stuff for product availability and all that stuff for you as well. In here, I'm going to guess we're going to have our Wi-Fi adapters. They're usually colour corrects. That's also magnetic and supports Wi-Fi 7. The board also has Bluetooth 5.4. So underneath the board, we've got a few bits and bobs. We've got the little key to take out the M.2 quick release if you want to move the position. We've also got another little quick release for an M.2 there as well. SATA cable, right angled end, just one in that packet. Then we've also got their breakout cable. So you've got a small proprietary end on this end. Then that breaks out into a 4-pin fan header and then a 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB. I really like that as it gives you a couple of more bulky connections but on a much smaller end. Also got some documentation but nothing really else to talk about in there. So here we have the Gaming Plus Max Wi-Fi. Certainly a lot whiter than the previous boards. A little bit silvery still, like especially on the VRM heatsink for example and the M.2 cover, but there are a lot more whiter parts, especially for your PCI connections, the quick releases. The SATA cables are a lot whiter, 24-pin, all the fan headers and things like that, DIMM slots, and of course the PCB being white as well is a big improvement. Now in terms of power stage, this board has a 12+1+1 and is using a 6-layer PCB. Let's just have a little look at the VRM heatsinks and things, fairly chunky, and then just turning it over, we've got a nice just plain grey PCB on the back. So let's get zoomed in and have a look around. So top left-hand corner, we've got two 8-pin connectors. Those are solid pins. Then we've got our first 4-pin fan header and a secondary on the right-hand side. That's CPU fan 1 and then pump fan 1. We've got a 5-volt addressable RGB connector, 3 more 4-pin fan headers, power connector, then our internal USB-C port. That's going to be 10 gigabits per second. Then on the right angle, we've got 4 SATA 6 gigabit ports and then our USB-A internal header. That's USB 3.2 Gen 1. Bottom right, we've got our front panel connections. We've also got a 5-volt addressable 3-pin just in the middle of those different ones there. We've also got another 4-pin fan header, another USB 3 header, 2 USB 2 headers. We've also got the easy quick connector on there, so that's a little proprietary cable I showed you a minute ago. Supplemental 8-pin power there, so if you need to do anything that's intensive on your graphics cards, maybe a bit of overclocking, you can add some additional PCI power with that connection. I've got some communication ports and things further along. We've also got some overclock jumpers as well if you are into that kind of thing down there as well. We've also got a 3-pin 5-volt addressable, then a normal 12-volt RGB connector, then finally our front panel audio. This board's using a Realtek ALC 897 codec, but I highly recommend a sound card if you're into your sound. You certainly won't look back. So going up to our socket, so support for 7000, 8000 and 9000 series processors. And then on the right hand side we have our DIMM slots, up to 256 gigabytes of DDR5, up to 8200 mega transfers per second. And then going down to our expansion slots, so our first one we've got a little heatsink over, quick release on there as well, thermal pad on the back, and that will support up to an 80mm Gen 5 NVMe. Now that heatsink isn't overly thick, so if you are using a really fast NVMe, you may want to get one with a dedicated heatsink. That just slots back in and clips back into place. And then we've got some additional NVMe slots further down, so we've got one here on the left hand side, supports up to an 80 or 110 Gen 4 drive, then another one in the bottom right, that again supports up to an 80mm Gen 4 drive. Then for our PCI slots, the top one here is an Armored Gen 5 slot. We've got the nice quick release on there as well. Really like MSI's one, it's one press to lock and one press to unlock, much more secure. Then we've also got some additional expansions further down. The middle one's going to be Gen 4 at X4, and then we've also got 2 additional X3 slots that run at X1, but perfectly good enough for a sound card or a capture card. So then going on to the rear I/O, we've got a BIOS flash and also a clear CMOS, really nice buttons to have. DisplayPort output. We've then got 2 Type-Cs at 10 gigabits per second. The red USB port's 10 gigabits per second and the blue is 5 gigabits per second. That's also the one for your BIOS flash as well. 4 USB 2 ports, a 5 gig LAN, which is a nice little improvement, and also a Wi-Fi antenna points. Like I mentioned, Wi-Fi 7, also Bluetooth 5.4. Then we've got a line out, microphone in, and an SP diff. So that was a look at the new Gaming Plus Max Wi-Fi from MSI, announced literally last week. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts down below. In terms of price, unfortunately I don't have anything to add at the moment, but going off the features that this offers, we've got kind of a more stripped back storage. You've got a 1 Gen 5 slot and then going off the rear I/O. I'm going to say it's probably a mid-tier B850 board. It's not too crazy. We have seen higher end boards like the NZXT one we looked at last week was at the higher end of the B850, and there are ones that are, you know, a little bit more stripped back again from this. So I would feel that it would probably sit in the maybe 220 to 240 kind of price for this one, maybe even a little bit less. But like I said, as soon as I've got pricing, I will update the links in the description box. Maybe put a pinned comment down there as well. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments box below. I'd like to hear from you. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you all in the next one.